Thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you. Even though I can't see Bob Simon because of the lights, I'm just going to go out of order and first start, Bob, by thanking you. The thanks goes to you. 25 years ago, I was literally fresh off the boat from Iowa right out of college, and I met Bob and learned about International Medical Corps and the mission, and I just, fell in love with what he was doing and the work. And I am the one who is privileged, really given an opportunity that no one else would have given a 27-year-old female, especially in those days. So even though I can't see you out there, Bob, because of the lights, thank you, Bob. You're the one that made it possible, so thank you. I'd also like to thank the founding board, Terry Reardon, Dick Reardon. I still remember working in that donated house. How many people would let someone move in next door to them and work in a nonprofit? Henry Hood, Bill Robinson, Bill Moore. Those early days, we had a can-do spirit, and that spirit is what has brought us to where we are today. And I want to thank all of you for the chance really to work with you over the years. When I look at over the last 25 years, and certainly I'm a little sentimental, it's our anniversary, certainly there's a lot of ups and downs, and when you think about what's happening in the world, you try to pull different thoughts around these different experiences that you've had. Often people say, what do you see, what's it like, how do you feel? And it's never really easy to answer a question like that, especially when you really do see the very, very best of humanity and also the very, very worst of humanity. And so as I think about certain experiences that we've had over the years, I think about a story I want to tell you a little bit about. This was in Somalia in 1992 at the height of the fighting, where there was terrible violence and anarchy. And as a result of the conflict and the violence there, people could not go out and grow their crops. So there was massive starvation throughout the country. Men, women, and children were dying everywhere. There was a city, it was called the City of Baidoa. It was also called the City of Death. And the reason it was called that is because so many people were dying every day that when they would die, the bodies would just lay on the ground and no one was there even to collect them. International Medical Corps sent a really heroic group of doctors and nurses into that war zone. In fact, Henry Hood was on that startup team. And we started treating, the wounded and the sick. We set up a therapeutic feeding center in Baidoa. What's that? That's where you give children food through a therapeutic means and not through solid means because their bodies are too emaciated to accept it. So it was tough to see this, but we had a clinic there, and children used to arrive to this clinic, and they would bring in their siblings. So you would see a 5-year-old bringing in her 3-year-old brother. Their parents would have died along the way. And I was there at a time when there was a mother who brought her child into our clinic, and she died right there in the courtyard in front of her child. That was a very, very difficult thing to watch, certainly, and certainly to even think about or talk about tonight. But there's a reason why I tell you this story. That little child saw his mother die, and he just sat there on the ground and cried until, one of our nurses and a local elder carried this child away. And I remember thinking, my goodness, what does a person take out of an experience like this? And I thought about that over the years, and it's still imprinted in my mind like it was yesterday. And I thought to myself, there's another way to look about that. There's another way to see it. This mother made it to the clinic alive, got her child to safety, and then died, but left behind her child with all of her hopes and her dreams instilled in that child. And I really had never thought about it that way before. That as sad as that story was, that story is the story of a mother or a father anywhere in the world. So sometimes when you think about well, what is it? How is it that people are in the countries you work? They're really just like us. They really are. They have, children. They love their children. They want a better life. And they live in situations that are just literally outside their control. And that is really, truly what we see everywhere we go. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some of these places, these refugee camps, conflict zones, the countries decimated by natural disasters. In sub-Saharan Africa, 1 child in 8 dies before they turn 5. In South Sudan, it's 1 in 4. So how do we really relate to all of this? What strikes us most is the injustice, because these children can be saved. It's not easy, but we really do know exactly what to do. Safe, clean water, a simple vaccination, antibiotics, proper nutrition, a clinic and a trained health worker in each village. It is truly because of your support, all of you here tonight, so many friends and supporters, that we have been able to do the work in the world's toughest environments and the world's hardest hit areas. And of course, there's a lot more work to be done. As you know, you read about in the papers every day: Afghanistan, Darfur, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Haiti. So I'm often asked by people, what does this cost? What does that cost? And we're always looking at ways to break down costs and to bring home the experiences that we face every day to all of you who really do support our work. You're the ones that make it happen. You're the ones that make it possible for us to do the work. It costs about $10 to save a child, almost anywhere in the world. That is an average. So $500 can save 50 children, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, you can do the math. So what we'd like to do tonight, we're going to let you eat your dinner. That's one nice thing. We're going to let you talk a little bit among yourselves. That's another great thing. But what we're going to do is we're going to offer you the opportunity, if you like, to participate in a text to give. And I get the lucky job of describing how it works. So I'm going to give you instructions. They will also be there, but as you're talking over dinner and you're having a nice time tonight, and I hope you enjoy the dinner break, we are also going to give you the opportunity to check your emails. And all of you who know me well know I'm very addicted, so I have 2 gadgets, emails and texts, and to send a donation in if you would like. So here's how it works. And I'm going to do it in a way that I understand it, because it had to be explained to me 50 times. You're going to send your donation to 27138. That's where you're going to send it. So what you do is you text the word medical, you type in a space, then you put in your donation amount, then you put in another space, and then you put in your name, or if you want to remain anonymous, you can type in anonymous. And as I said earlier, you send it to 27138. And again, you can remain anonymous, and you can pledge any amount that you want if you want to. To inspire your 2 close friends, Andy and Avery Barth, who many of you know, could not be here tonight. They're actually being honored in New York City. But they wanted to make their presence felt, and they have donated $25,000 to challenge us to try to see if we can raise another $25,000 in this room. There are instructions on each table. There's also an envelope if you'd like to give it the old-fashioned way. And my colleagues will be walking around in a very low-key way to help you with your text or collect your envelope if you like. So thank you so much for considering a donation. There's more to come, but in the meantime, have a wonderful dinner, and thank you.